Hey traders, Marcello here, founder of the Day Trading Academy. Today we're talking about what is a day trader. Do a bit of a beginner video on day trading. So if you have any questions, as always mark them with hashtag AskMarcello, no H, 2 L's. I'll be happy to go ahead and pull all your questions that you guys have and go ahead and put them on video. I wanted to do this video because I was getting a lot of questions about, you know, how exactly do day traders make money, or how exactly does it work? So I wanted to do a little bit more of a beginner video for you guys to be able to explain to you how exactly it works. And you know, how beginners or how professionals actually do this. So don't forget to subscribe here to the channel. The first thing I want to let you know is that the basic premise and the simple answer to this question is really a day trader is somebody who buys and sells a financial instrument like stocks or Forex or futures, and they get in and out the same day. So I don't want to say most people think that this is gambling, right? Because, you know, you don't know what you're doing. You just kind of throw your money at something and then you just expect it to go up, and maybe it's going to go down, but we don't know how to make money when it goes down. So the verbiage, or what I would like to say instead, is speculation, right? Speculation is more calculated risks as to what direction the market is going to go. Now, you should never risk money in the stock market if you don't know what you're doing. So please do not just automatically think that you're going to buy a course and start making $1 million overnight, because that's definitely not the way that day trading works. But essentially, you know, if we're talking about stocks, for example, if I think the value of, whether it's technical analysis or fundamental analysis, I'll explain that in a moment. If I think that Apple stock is going to keep going up because they're selling more iPhones, I'm going to buy Apple stock. I'm speculating. I'm thinking that the price is going to go up. We can also make money when the price goes down. So we make more money when the market goes down because people are more nervous and they make more rash decisions. There's a saying that says that the market goes up the stairs but down the elevator. During a crisis like the one that we had in 2009, or even a Great Depression, it jumps out the window. So that's really all what it is. And essentially there's different types of day traders, or different types of traders, so to speak. You have your scalper, which is seconds in and out, in and out. For those of you guys that don't know what high frequency trading is, it's basically robots or algorithms getting in and out in milliseconds, faster than we blink our eyes. So that's scalping, right? Really, really short term, seconds or minutes for some people. Then there's day trading, which literally implies that you trade only in the day, right? Which basically means you get in, but you get out before the day is over. This, for me, is probably the best form of trading, because it not only allows you to defer risk, because obviously if you are going to day trade and hold positions overnight, you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? And we're kind of on the last leg of what happens in the financial markets, meaning that China, Asia, Japan opens first, then it goes to Europe, you know, maybe India starting to grow, and, you know, Europe, then over to Brazil, which isn't really a big economic power, so to speak, a large economy, but not really significant in terms of might. Sorry to all my Brazilians out there. To the bone, cara, to the bone. And then obviously the United States, which is still kind of the central financial market in the world. So anything can happen overnight, right? We can have a war, you can have some kind of black swan event, like a terrorist attack like we had in 2011, September, right? So I also believe that day trading is best because it also allows you to get more practice in. So if we're going to learn how to do something, for example, if we're learning how to swing trade and we're holding positions overnight, in order to practice one session or practice what we're doing, you have to hold from one day to the other, or maybe even longer. So one practice session literally lasts days, right? So I prefer day trading because I think it's a little bit easier for people to learn. You can learn how to day trade and then do it more longer term, which I've had some traders do. Shout out to Iceman. So I think if we're going to have the maximum benefit, we have to practice a lot. There's no way around it, right? You're not just gonna, like as I mentioned, you're not just gonna buy a course and become successful tomorrow. So if you practice and your session only lasts, I'd say maybe, let's say 20 or 30 minutes a day on average, maybe even let's say 45 minutes a day, you can literally get 2, 3, 4 sessions in a day and you can actually practice, so you can actually learn more. And the last thing that you guys should know obviously about that is simplicity. So everybody thinks that day trading is technical. It's actually psychological. So it doesn't take long to learn the technical aspects of day trading, which means I would say that day trading is literally only about 10 or 15% technical, where it's 85, 90% psychological. And so if you're going to learn a strategy, it's probably better, in my opinion, obviously, my humble opinion, with the experience I have in the markets, almost 16 years now, excuse me, is you want to make sure that you simplify the process as much as possible to make sure that you can focus on what? Psychology. So that's why I prefer day trading. Mostly day trading futures. Obviously, you know, those keyboard warriors out there are going to say that Forex is the best or stocks are the best. But in my personal opinion, futures is one of the best markets to trade. I'd recommend for you guys actually futures or stocks. So then after day trading, that was a really long explanation on day trading. Then we have swing trading. Swing trading is essentially where you hold positions, this is my definition, for I'd say a few days. It's technically overnight or for a few days. So for me, it's a few days to a few weeks. And then you have position trading, which is a lot what I'm doing now. I probably consider myself more of an investor rather than a trader, is where you put in a position and then you hold it for months or years. So after that, obviously, we get into the kind of nitty gritty of if you're going to do fundamental analysis or technical analysis. I personally don't do any fundamental analysis, even though most of the time I do understand what's going on. The difference between the two is technical analysis is where you only pay attention to charts. Technical stuff, lines, graphs, patterns, you know, it goes up, it goes down. Most traders, I believe, use technical analysis because it's easier. And then you also have the fundamental analysis, which I would say bigger traders like George Soros, and possibly George Soros, I'd say, is more technical in my opinion. The Jim Rogers, I would say, is a little bit more fundamental, for example. And with respect to that, basically what you do is you don't look at a chart with bars to be able to know when to get in or when to get out or where the market is going. You actually are going to read financial reports, you know, read what decision China made that's going to affect the US or affect Europe. For me, it takes a lot more time. You have to do a lot more research. I'm too lazy to read reports. Who likes to read nowadays, right? In this Instagram generation, you know, who wants to read 10, 20, 30 page reports to be able to go ahead and do trading? I mean, for me, it makes no sense. That's one of the things, for example, I don't like about stocks, where you have to literally screen your stocks every day. You have to do homework in order to find the stocks that you're going to trade, because you can't trade the same stocks every day. You have to find the ones that are moving, right? And then after that, you have to look for the actual trade. And anyway, I'm ranting. So the fundamental idea is that where I don't want to say betting, because it's not really betting, it's not gambling like you're in a casino, but the idea is that you're going to put your money on what value a financial instrument is going to go in. So if we're talking about futures, for example, since I love futures, or maybe even silver miners, silver stocks, for example, if I think the value of a silver stock is going to go up, then I buy it. And then if it goes up, I make money. Obviously, if it goes down, you lose money, right? In this industry, you can definitely lose a lot of money as well. So it's important to be able to understand that as well. So the idea and the kind of flourishing nature of the day trading industry really happened, I would say, the 1997-ish, somewhere along those lines, maybe even a little bit earlier, where not only the internet flourished and now became high-speed internet, but also much more people had access to the market. You know, I don't know the regulations as to when things change. I know with stocks, you have to have a minimum of $25,000 to actually day trade them. If I remember the rule correctly, you can't do more than 3 or 5 buy and sells the same day unless you have a minimum of $25,000 in your account. That doesn't apply to things like futures or Forex. or the other markets, which I detest because I don't think they're good markets, like CFDs and binary options. But essentially, the idea is that you literally are just speculating as to what price the market is going to go. That's literally what day trading is. So, I could probably throw in some things like what's the best way to learn, for example. I want to be completely honest with you guys. You don't have to spend $10,000 to learn how to trade. You can learn it on your own. The only thing you have to keep in mind is obviously there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, which basically means that, it's going to take you more time because you're not going to have a coach, but obviously you have to sift through kind of all the stuff online, right? Oh, he's a fraud. Oh, he's the best ever. And really kind of see what actually works, what doesn't, how to combine it, how to use it, how to apply it. And obviously that's a much longer process, but you can do it. In my opinion, I believe that this is one of the best times to actually learn how to trade. The reason why is because, in my humble opinion, I believe that we're walking into a pretty significant crisis, and day traders make more money when there's a crisis. It's one of the only professions that I know. If you guys can think of others, let me know some comments here, that you can make more money when things are bad. And that, to me, is the ultimate level of freedom. Because you can have your own business and work whenever you want, but if things go sour, you're not going to sell sneakers or houses or, cars or whatever you sell. So that, to me, is the reason why I love to not only trade, but also teach people how to trade, because it gives them those tools to be able to have their financial freedom, not just having a lot of money, which really isn't the most important thing in the world, right? The most important thing is really just being able to have enough money to not worry about money. So that is my explanation, ladies and gentlemen, of what day trading is. I hope you enjoyed it. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for more explanations as to how the market works, or exactly what it is, how it works. A professional day trader essentially makes money on the difference of what he buys and sells. So if he buys Apple for $1,000, he sells it for $2,000, he makes $1,000 profit. It's that simple. If he thinks the market is going to go down, in case, for example, the dollar against the euro, the value of the dollar against the euro, I don't want to say bet, but I put a position in that the dollar is going to devalue, and if it goes down, I win money because I chose the right direction. Obviously, if it goes in the opposite direction, you do lose money, because this is an industry where there is a lot of risk. So keep that in mind as well. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Go ahead and leave all the questions with hashtag Ask Marcello. I'll be happy to go ahead and get those for you. And don't forget to subscribe.